Hello and welcome to HRBC show called Let's Talk. So today we have delegate candidate Don Carey. And today we're going to find out exactly why. Why should we choose Don Carey? Why he might be the right person for your vote. So welcome and
Hey Nina, how
would you
you
like
doing?
to I'm good. Would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. So, grace and peace, everyone. My name is Don Carey. I currently serve as a city council member in Chesapeake, where we strive to make Chesapeake an exceptional place to live, learn, work, farm, and play. Prior to being elected in 2020, I played in the NFL for 10 years. Yeah, 10, long time. 2 years with the Jaguars and 8 years with the Detroit Lions. In addition to my service on council, I am also an area representative for the state board of social services. So in 2022, Governor Youngkin selected me as his Eastern District representative, Eastern Region representative, I should say, for that board. I also serve on regional boards as the Hampton Roads Transit Authority. So any issues that you may have in the city of Chesapeake where the bus is not running on time, or give me a shout. I'm your representative there. Outside of politics, I serve on the board of the Crisis Pregnancy Center. I've been doing that for about almost 2 years, and I serve on the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia, which we cover all of the South Side. It's one of the largest food banks in the state of Virginia. My wife and I, we run the Don Carey Reach Foundation. It is our nonprofit where we utilize sports as a hook to educate students about STEM jobs. And so I wear a whole lot of hats. I can say more, but I'll stop there.
Okay, all right. So I got a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Oh, okay, here we go.
What made you want to run for delegate?
Sure. So I'll tell you, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time on council. It is phenomenal to assist citizens in solving the issues that are impacting their lives. When I was in the NFL, I spent my time trying to figure out how to defeat a team. I watch film, I look for mannerisms, study my own playbook. Now that I'm out of the NFL, I wanted to redirect that energy towards something else. And on council, I have the ability to not fight against a person, but fight against a situation. And it doesn't take long for a council member to realize that there are certain problems that you cannot solve on council. Being that we are a Dillon rule state, which means that the majority of power is vested in the General Assembly, there are some issues that are just too big for council members to be able to solve. And if you want to impact change in those areas, you have to be in Richmond.
Okay, all righty. What are your thoughts on solving the problem of what to do with the Hampton Roads Regional Jail?
Um, how long is this interview? So for those who do not know that, 5 out of the 7 cities have a contract where we would send a certain amount of inmates to a regional jail. We've been doing that for quite a while, and what we found is that contract is not good. The conditions of the jail are failing. The jail itself has been condemned. The inmates are in grave danger. What has initially been intended to be one thing has now divulged to a facility that houses some of our worst and most violent inmates, as well as inmates struggling with mental health. They're grossly understaffed, grossly underfunded, and we're trying to find ways to break that contract. But it's so written that unless all cities agree to break the contract, no one can break the contract. So this is one of those situations where Richmond needs to step in and help us. It's one of the reasons I'm running for the House of Delegates, so that we can effectuate change in this area. We need to shut this jail down, allow cities to be able to pull their inmates out, pull out the individuals who have mental health because they shouldn't be there in the first place, so we can keep our citizens safe.
Okay, okay. So speaking of mental health has become a buzzword in most people's campaigns.
Hmm.
So, if elected, do you have an actual bill or plan in mind that will actually help
Yeah.
people receive the help that they need, vice being thrown in jail?
Yeah. So I tell you, I'm not one of those politicians who like to use buzzwords as a box to check. All right. So I am acutely aware of the mental health situations that we struggle with here. I am not a mental health professional. I'm in the process of working with other mental health professionals who do know what they're talking about in this area. And if elected to the House of Delegates in the 89th district, I will work hand in hand with these experts, with these people who know what they're talking about, with these professionals to come up with bills that will impact mental health in a very positive way. But I will not lie. I'm not an expert on that as of now. So, but I'm
All
willing to,
right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So your site says that you are fighting to keep Virginia free.
Mm.
What do you mean by that?
Sure. So for me, FREE is an acronym. If you've seen that on the site, FREE. F stands for family, R stands for religion, E stands for education, the second E stands for economy. I believe that the purpose of government is to protect these institutions because they lead to a flourishing and free society. When your family is strong, when you have your religious freedoms, when your education system actually educates, and when the economy is such that you can chase your American dream and actually get there, I think we are free people. We're flourishing people, and that's what I want to fight for. And if you would like, we can go deeper into each one of those platforms, but I'm pretty sure they might come up in another question. But that's what free means to me. I'm not trying to insinuate that we're not free. I'm not trying to insinuate that there are other people trying to slave us. I'm merely saying that in order to keep the dream of America, that honing beacon that has drawn so many people to our country, we have to make sure that our families are strong and safe. And that's families in the community, families in the womb, our elders who have given so much need to be safe. Our religious freedoms need to be honored. Our Declaration of Independence declares that our rights are given to us not by a court, not by a legislative body, but by God Almighty. I'm not trying to beat anybody into one religion, but I do believe that our rights are given to us by a supreme being. So no court can take those things away. And I want to honor those things. Our education system, there's another quote I heard a long time ago and it stuck with me. It says, a society that doesn't focus on the next generation is a selfish and stupid society. We need to make sure that we're setting an environment where our little platoons, our children, have the ability to be successful, just as the elders and the citizens before me and you gave us the ability to be successful in our career path. So I want to pass that forward to our children in the most effective way. That includes effective education, workforce development, training them not just for college, but for vocational or great military, which I know you were a part of. And then the economy. I want to focus on making sure we're bringing jobs into the area and a multiplicity of jobs where citizens can have the ability, if they want to go the blue collar route or the white collar route, or they want to go another route, those specific pathways are available to them.
Awesome. Okay. So, as you know, as a retired Navy chief, go Navy. How do you feel about not taxing military retirement checks?
Yes, I think that is a very, very mind-boggling thing the way we treat our military personnel, given that we have the largest naval base here in Hampton Roads. I mean, we have every base and every branch of the military here in Hampton Roads, and how impactful our military personnel have been to the economy of Hampton Roads. That when you all are done with your service, we turn around and tax you to high hell. That's it really it doesn't gel with the common person or common sense. So if elected, my passion would be to work closely with other legislators to try to find ways to bring those things down. You've given so much to us. I mean, oftentimes um, our military personnel have given their lives, and their families now receive certain benefits that are also taxed or also greatly limited too. So not only do I want to look at how to bring down the taxation on you on previous or former military benefits, but also the families who've lost loved ones who receive a certain benefit that is also taxed high.
Awesome. Well, I like that. Okay. What is your plan for bringing more jobs to Virginia?
Cool. Great question. So we have to become laser focused on placemaking as well as site readiness. So when we're trying to attract large companies, mid-sized companies, or even set an environment where some of our small businesses can flourish, placemaking is very important. So what is placemaking? Placemaking are the activities that families or individuals can engage in outside of work. Right. So you look at large corporations like Amazon or Google or or another manufacturing company. They want their employees to not only succeed in the workforce, but when they leave, they want their employees to be able to do things. And so a lot of those high tech companies, those high paying jobs are looking for what amenities are found within the area. I want to put a premium focus on assisting cities in the ability of placemaking, because every single city has a long laundry list of things they would like to get done, but their budgets don't allow for it. There go my kids, right? Secondly, site readiness. If every city has land that they would like to allocate to the building of some type of project, whether it be a small business, mid-sized business, or a large businesses as well, but they need a little assistance in getting the utilities, getting the roads prepared, making sure the site is prepared, so that these organizations can come in, these companies can come in and start building right away. It's no shock to you that we are in constant competition with other states and other cities to attract the best businesses that can bring the type of jobs, bring the type of pay that we're looking for. We need to make sure that we make Hampton Roads as attractive as possible for these businesses to come here.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, if abortion was brought up for a vote, what would that bill have to look like for you to vote yes to?
Mm. So help me understand, if abortion or if the limiting of abortion, give me some nuance to that question.
Okay, so let's see.
So I would imagine you're talking about limiting abortion, because right now abortion is still
Yeah,
banned.
limiting.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I tell people, and first off, I do sit on the board of the Crisis Pregnancy Center. We are unapologetically pro-life on the with the Crisis Pregnancy Center, and I stand with that. I honestly am willing to swing the bet of whatever bill comes to me that limits abortion. With that being said, I do believe that the general tenor, at least from the Republican side, is 15 weeks, including the life of the mother and the life of the child, or rape and incest, things of that nature. If that bill comes for a vote, I will vote yes.
Okay. All right. So, the rising cost of healthcare for our older citizens is becoming a problem. What are your thoughts on improving it for them?
Yeah. So this is definitely something that I deal with often on the State Board of Social Services. We not only set policy for fictive kin adoptions, as well as foster care, but we also set policies for our elders. And recently, I was taking a tour of the assisted living facilities that we have here in Hampton Roads, and the ones that are subsidized by government. Are not the best care for our elders. Individuals who have given so much of their lives to our society, have paid into our tax system, now are being relegated into some of the worse conditions or lower conditions than what I think they deserve. I would like to increase the assistance that we're giving to individuals within our assisted living homes. So right now, I believe that there was a bill to increase the assistance that they got from $1,600 to like $1,900 a week. That kind of helps move the needle, but they're still in the same facilities. I think that number should be closer to the $3,500 to allow them to be in more comfortable living facilities than what they're currently in, that offer more amenities. I also think we should open up the market to be more competitive. It is easy to monopolize and drastically raise prices or drastically lower the benefit that citizens receive if they're just one or two companies. Opening up the market for competition ultimately is a net plus, a net positive for our citizens, and that's what I would seek to do.
Okay. So, if elected, what are the top 3 things you would hope to accomplish while you were in office?
Sure, awesome. So they're kind of housed within the acronym of FREE. Number one, keeping our communities safe. One of the reasons I'm running for the House of Delegate is I do work in the communities. I led a task force to answer some of the crime questions that we were having in the Campus Square area, the northern part of our city. And what we found was there were certain laws that were passed in 2020 that resulted in more crime, more guns, more drugs pouring into our communities. Now, I'm not naive. I fully understand that it is the job of the Attorney General's office to keep our citizens safe. But oftentimes that there are votes that are taken in the General Assembly that either tie the hands of police officers from being able to do their job. This is one instance. We can talk more about it. But if I'm blessed to represent the 89th district in the General Assembly, I am going to fight tooth and nail to repeal Senate Bill 5039, I believe, that took primary traffic violations and made them secondary traffic violations. And even though that seems harmless enough, the result was more drugs, more crime, more guns in our neighborhoods, and that's not what we need. Secondly, I want to assist in the workforce development of our youth. I think we need to place a premium on that, preparing our students for the next generation of success, trying to find answers for tomorrow's problems now so that our workforce can be properly prepared for that is critical. I don't think we can continue to go on the same model of the 1950s of just telling kids to go to college. I don't think that's working for a lot of our citizens now. We have the vocational route. We have the greatest military turbid on the earth, where there are a lot of benefits there. We should be preparing our children, preparing our students to be successful and be able to chase the American dream. I don't think we're doing a good enough job of that now. And then lastly, I would love to cut taxes. So here's Virginia has ran a surplus. We have ran a surplus in taxes for several years now. Now, if I was on a board of a private organization and we ran a surplus, that is wonderful. We can pass those dividends down to our stakeholders. But government is not a private institution. We're not. When we run a surplus in taxation, that means we're overtaxing our citizens. And I support Governor Youngkin's tax cuts, and I would look forward to accomplishing those things.
Okay. So my last question is, if I were a diehard Democrat, why should I vote for you?
Sure. So honestly, I think we should not take a look at the tribal Republican or Democrat mantra. Rather, we should look at the individuals and ascertain if they actually fight for the things that matter to you. Voting for someone just because they're Democrat or voting for someone just because they're Republican, I think puts us in a position that we're in now. It's one of the reasons why a lot of our politicians are so partisan in the way that they go about doing things. And though I tell you, I am unapologetically conservative and I'm in the Republican Party, I fight for all my constituents, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, black, white, male, female, whatever lifestyle you try to live. I want to set an environment where all of us can flourish. Now, I do so with a certain worldview. I do so in a particular way, but I would never alienate individuals who serve within my district, who live within my district. I've always been open and honest. I've always been someone who looks at the individual regardless of what the society or demographics say about them. And I'm willing to work with anybody to do right, and I will work with no one to do wrong. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. If I feel that the way that you're going about doing things is not the right way, I'm not going with you. All right. So if you're a like-minded individual like that who likes to work with individuals, regardless of where they come from, to do what is right, then I'm your guy. Vote Don Carey. We have a primary May 6th in Chesapeake and Suffolk. Would love to earn your vote.
Okay. So those are all the questions that I have. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people?
Oh, sure. Yes. So just as I mentioned, we are in a primary. There are Republican challengers and Democrat challengers. The Republican primary is May 6th. If you live in the 89th delegate district, May 6th is the date to vote. You will have to go on to Who's My Legislature, legislator.com or whatever that General Assembly deal is, or just go to votedoncarey.com and you can learn exactly what precinct that you're in, where your voting location is. And if you live in the 89th delegate district, you're probably going to get a door knock from me here coming up soon anyway. So, but visit votedoncarey.com to learn more about our campaign, to learn more about the free acronym. What do I mean by free? Some of the things I've tried to accomplish. Learn about my history. And I'll tell you, I am the only candidate running in this race, whether Democrat or Republican, who has actually done the things, who has a track record of doing the things that I want to do when I get to Richmond. I'm not trying to sell people some grandiose ideas of what I think I can get accomplished. I'm telling you what I've done, what I've fought for, what I've proven to be true. And I hope May 6th, Republican primary, that you would agree with me and make me the nominee for the Republican ticket.
Awesome. All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you, and that is all that we have.
Thank you, Ms.
So
Eva.
thanks for joining. Have a great day.
God bless y'all.